Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I did a recent additions video for the collection, and it was Stoneleigh Militaria Fair yesterday, and I've been to a couple of other places as well recently. Got some pretty cool things and some things that are a bit more silly but still hilarious. So we're going to quickly show you some of my new items to add to the collection for the displays for 2025. So we're going to quickly rattle off the possibly less interesting and silly things so we can get to the good stuff. So we're going to start off with these here. These were at Thetford Militaria Fair, and what these are is a pair of medical slippers for inside like the hospitals and stuff like that. They were £10 and I couldn't say no because I just thought they're an odd little thing, and I'll probably come across someone at some point that wants to do medical stuff and I'll be like, yeah, I'd like some of these. So we've got ourselves a pair of little medical slippers which are a bit daft. Whilst I'm rambling, by the way, how's the lighting? I've invested in some better lighting and setup, so hopefully that should be a bit higher quality, and it also lets me use my f4 power zoom lens, so I can do this by remote during the middle of videos. Anyway, aside from that, let's go on to the next item. Here we've got what I assume is probably a post-war musette bag, maybe late war. It's obviously got the entrenching tool part on here, so that's the giveaway, but pretty much all of its markings have faded. You can very faintly see the US on here. I doubt that'll even come up on camera, I'm not sure. But this was given to me by a friend and it's in perfect physical condition, and I'm never going to say no to a free musette bag, so that was greatly appreciated. Thank you for that. I also got, from the same chap, he gave me half of a post-war pup tent. That's got some holes in it and stuff like that, but still I pick these up whenever possible. So this one is probably going to be used to change, folded up to be laid in the bottom of my bustle rack to make a nice canvas bed so that mud and water and stuff don't get chucked up on top of all the wooden boxes and that sort of thing, because I've had my bustle rack extended. That's a lot bigger at the bottom now, so I think that would be a good idea to just give the wooden boxes some protection because they were getting pretty battered last year. So we've got a half a post-war pup tent which we'll pop down there. Now let's start moving on to Stoneleigh. Oh, right, quickly, here is more pup tent related stuff. So this is 3 halves of Wartime 45 dated, all buttons, no poppers, double-ended pup tents. So 3 shelter halves. I haven't got I didn't have a buttoned double-ended pup tent at all. I only had the ones that were single and then open at the other end. So this will go to make one Hull Wartime double-ended pup tent, and then the other half I might combine with one of the ones that's open at the end, so I can hang it off the Jeep. So the one-ended one can hang off the side of the Jeep, so you can look straight in the front of it, and then the closed end come to the side, so you can have it down at the front. That probably doesn't make any sense, but at some point I'll do it at an event and then I'll show you. I think that's going to work out well. So altogether, I suppose we've got 2 pup tents recently, minus pegs and pulls, but I've got so many pegs and pulls that's ridiculous. Right, next up is a bit of an odd item. Oh, this big old bag here. Now, just before I left Stoneleigh, I saw this and I went and looked at it, and a chap, he came over, the bloke who sent it, he's like, do you know what that is? And I was like, no, but it looks pretty bloody interesting. Inside it, if you take the lifter dots off, one of which is missing, which I'm going to repair. Inside it, you can see that's clearly built for something specific. If I can get my head in. It's got like this big divider and then internal straps in there. So I told him that it's going to be something specific, and I didn't think that was Wartime. The only markings on it are very faded at the front, but I managed to get an ID number off it. And I did a quick bit of research on my phone there and then, and it turns out it's a Korean War era radio bag. So I thought, well, I'll have that because that was cheap. I told him that's not World War II, it ain't going to be worth a fortune, and he let me have it for a decent price. But what's really cool about it is that you can wear it as a backpack. So I just think that's going to be handy for when I'm going on events and I want something to like chuck a camera bag in to just disguise it a bit, or just chuck my food and stuff in there instead of having to have it all in a heavy wooden crate. I just bung it in there and then I can pop that under my cot bed or whatever. It'll just suit in. So it's not going to be displayed as such because that wouldn't be period correct for me, but I couldn't leave it there. It's going to be a handy bag, and I'll fix that missing lifter dot at some point. Okay, so that's the weird stuff out of the way. We're getting to the slightly more interesting things. Well, actually not at Stoneleigh. Before that, I did get this 1944 or M44 cargo bag that you can see there. Always pick them up, they're brilliant, and they are period correct if you're doing World War II late war stuff. So I grabbed that, and it's in perfect condition. That's not missing any of the buckles or anything, which are normally cut off. So we got that. Now let's start on the like the cool but still unusual. So this hair was got from me by my friend Harry, who I know watches these videos, so hello Harry, thank you for this. This is a pad that fits to the base plate of an 81mm mortar, so you can wear the base plate on your back like a backpack while during marching, basically. That's one of the bits that I was missing from my mortar setup. I know you guys haven't seen much of the mortar, but that will definitely change because we plan to get it out a lot this year. So this will go on the display with that, whether the mortar's set up or not. This can be attached to the base plate in the trailer if you're just doing a vehicle display but having it as like a mortar carrier. Or when you've got the mortar set up, you can have this just on the ground, and that's in almost perfect condition. I know it looks a bit odd because the way it's got the leather and the pad and everything, it looks like maybe a German piece of field equipment, but this is the correct pad for the the M81. What am I talking about? The 81mm mortars that the Americans used in World War II. This pad, base plate, sorted. Right, the next item I can't do up here, it's too big, I'm not getting it up the stairs, so let's take a trip down to the kitchen. So here we are for the next item. I've had to move down to the kitchen because this is not going up the bloody stairs, it's rather large. So what we've got here is an original shipping crate, and this is a shipping crate for the M6 toolboxes, which is the toolboxes that tend to have been used for 50 caliber machine guns. You can see all the original pack and stencils on the side here, that they got the chest tool metal with tray, quantity 4, packed 12.55. So it's a post-war crate, but nonetheless that's a very nice piece in pretty good condition. We're going to give this a light restoration, just hammer some of the nails in, do a bit of gluing, a bit of tidying up. But what's really cool is you open it up, and inside you can see 2 M6 toolboxes, and they're in their original packaging, marked 1942, which is on a different side. I'll take these upstairs and we'll show you one of them quickly now. But I just want to show you this box because the actual I had to have the actual transit crate. That's too cool not to have it. That weren't very expensive. I didn't buy 4 toolkits because that would have been insane. They're rather expensive. But I've been looking for one for ages, so I bought a pair of them. So this is going to become a chest to basically sit inside the trailer all the time. That's the perfect size for it. Just needs to have a bit of a restoration, well, overhaul, which will be a video in its own right. Let's take one of these upstairs and take a look at one of these puppies. So here we are back up in the studio room. Here's the still NOS M6 chest. I've been looking for one of these for a few years, so I had to snap up. I just couldn't turn it down, and it weren't cheap, but I had to just get a couple. Now I know some people would see this as like a relic and they'd never want to open the packaging, but I don't really operate that way. As you can see on the side of this one, that's pretty battered, the tape is anyway, so I'm going to very carefully cut that and remove the tin, and then I will keep the box and keep it pretty much awesome condition, but I want the box out of it, and I'm probably going to take them both out because I want to have one to permanently go in the Jeep. I'll fix it down somehow without actually drilling holes in it, and then I want another one to use in my trailer for when I'm doing particular displays or anything involving the 50 cal, so I can actually go with it. But you can see here, it's still got all of its markings. I'll try and bring the camera up for you as well, get some. But on this one, it looks to me like it says June 42. So I think that's pretty cool. You don't often find NOS stuff like this still anymore, and you can see all the original markings on the packet there. But I'm not going to do that in this video, taking it out. I think that deserves its own video, really removing this and showing you the tray. But the transit crate and this have got to be the coolest things that I picked up from Stoneleigh, or both of these I should say, because I'm greedy and got 2. Would have got 4, but that would have been stupid and probably a waste of money. Anyway, I think this is particularly cool. Lastly, in terms of actual equipment for displays and stuff, another tick off the list of things that have been remaining for me to get hold of is an actual World War II American poncho. Not the post-war one with the hood, this is a proper World War II one without the hood. Now I haven't had this out properly yet because it is, this just say crispy, as you can probably hear. That hasn't like fallen apart or gone weird like rubber stuff often does, it's just really dry and just needs a bit of attention. So Mr. Crispy Poncho here will be getting some attention from me. And then I will have this just as part of displays in the Jeep or whatever. I just have got a list that's not very long anymore of things that I want to pick up And this is one of the things that for the last few years I just haven't been able to find, since I've been looking for the odd little things just to finish and round out the collection. So I'm glad I got a poncho. I'm probably going to have to put it out in the sun for a little while, it just get some air, and then treated. If any of you guys know how you can bring this poncho around, please do let me know. I mean, I was thinking about just giving it some dubbing or beeswax all over it just to try and supple it up a bit and get it going. That's probably the first thing I'll do. But if any of you got a better idea, please let me know, and then I can get a nicer poncho that I can wear and that won't just stick out like I'm some sort of bearded dragon or whatever it is them things are called. You get the idea. So that's basically it for the things I found for the collection. I don't think I've missed anything out, but if I did, that wasn't a big thing. But I've got some Jeep news as well. So here we go. This is another Joe's Motorpool carburetor, and I know some of you might be thinking, what the hell, you had no end of problems with your carburetor, why have you gone and bought another one? Well, the Solex that's on my Jeep, it's running, but that is completely gutless, and as is well known with most Solex, reproduction Solexes, their accelerator pumps don't actually work properly or barely at all. So every time you try and accelerate, the Jeep just wants to die, and then when you actually go, there's no power. It's crap. A lot of it might be because I'm running it around in like 1 degree centigrade temperatures and it doesn't like it. But either way, it's down on power. It's really not good enough. I need to be able to tow the trailer and actually have some power. So I got another carburetor. I took a punt, but this isn't one directly from Joe's Motorpool. This is one that I picked up from Jeffrey Engineering. And the reason I did it is because they basically, and I had a proper chat with them as well. What they do is they buy a load of carburetors in, and instead of then just selling them on to the customers, they actually go through them all first. They pull them apart, they check everything, they make sure the float is exactly where it needs to be. They do some engineering work, and I suppose drilling of bits and pieces here. I can't remember exactly what he said they did, but they basically make sure all the sizes are exactly to spec, rebuild the whole thing with everything set up properly, put it on a Jeep, actually run it to make sure it goes, and then they sell it on, and you pay a little bit more, but you know that that's been basically bench tested by a professional, for want of a better word. Well, I suppose they are the professionals. So, and you can tell it's been done because it stinks of petrol, so you know that I know this has been used. So I'm going to take the Solex off because it runs, and I'll keep it as a backup, but I really want power and accelerator pump, because when I did have my Joe's one on, when that briefly worked properly, like you'd put your foot on the accelerator and you'd actually be like, oh my god, I've got an accelerator pump for a start. And it did have more power, even though the miles to the gallon were a lot worse. I'd rather sacrifice a few miles to the gallon and actually be able to move rather than it being reliable but having about 5 horsepower. So we're going to take a punt on another one of these. I don't know if I'll film it or not, because you've kind of seen me messing around with carburetors loads, but when I put it on and fire it up, I'll definitely film that, and then I can say, look, this is a piece of shit as well. Or hopefully not. Hopefully this will solve all my carburetor problems. If I put this on and this is running lovely, but the Jeep is still gutless, then I've got another problem, which I would assume would mean I've got an air leak somewhere on my inlet manifold, and that's a whole nother barrel of crap that I'll have to deal with at the time. But hopefully this will fix my Jeep roads. You go down there out of the way. So then that's a quick little video, probably actually dragged on longer than I thought, of me rambling about some new kit that I got for the collection. Any comments on any of the extra information, maybe things I've missed? What do you think about that crate and them toolboxes? They are really cool, and I'll definitely be doing a video of unboxing that from its NOS packaging, so we can kind of see what they like together. I mean, he had one out of the box and it was excellent, but for all I know, there's nothing in there but a rusted pile of crap. So I doubt that, but we'll find that out together in another video, and then we can have a look at the toolbox. And I know some people will get annoyed that I'm opening NOS stuff, but I will keep all the packaging, and we'll put that out on display in the house as well, a couple of them somewhere, and use them to store stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling on here, so tell me what you think about the items. What do you like? What do you think might be a bit crap? Any thoughts on it? How's the light work? There. Sorry, I'm a bit of a knackered, tired man today. How's the lighting work? Does it look better than it did, or not as good? I hope it worked better. It's nice being able to use the old zoomy lens here, so I can get in a bit like this. But anyway, I'm tired and I'm rambling. So leave a comment down below on the stuff, and I'll see you again soon.